Mississippi State fans' favorite college football writer, bar none, is a guy by the name of Barrett Sallee.
It's a true story.
State fans love Barrett Sallee, don't they?
Can't get enough of his writing.
Porky Barrett writes.
And today, he really helped them.
He writes at CBSSports.com, covers college football. The headline: Why Ole Miss will emerge as the biggest threat to Alabama in the SEC West during the 2022 college football season. Subheadline: Lane Kiffin, entering his third season, is on the verge of building a national contender in Oxford. Now, there might be, before we even get into the content of the story, Borky, there might be a little bit of PTSD for Ole Miss fans with Barrett Sallee making a large proclamation about Ole Miss as it pertains to its relationship with Alabama.
Yeah, that didn't go well. But I mean,
was it 62-7 or 67-3? Or you remember,
hey,
Dad?
Y'all scored on the first play for the game, though. You had that moment. When's the last time State led Alabama? I don't even remember.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
So, Michael Borky, what do you make of this article by Barrett Sallee?
I'm going to make it into other questions, actually, because there's a difference between could and will, right? Could this happen versus will it happen? And some people confuse the two. Yeah, this team could beat this team, and when they don't, it's like, oh, well, you said they were going to. No, you said they could. There's a difference. Could, with capital C, Ole Miss be that team this year? Not will they, but does the ceiling exist on this team to be there, to be competitive at that kind of a level where they are going back to an Access Bowl, that kind of thing? Does that ceiling exist with this football team? And then I've got another question to follow up with that once we get through it.
All right, so first of all, let's be abundantly clear. The ceiling is the roof, okay?
Thank you, MJ.
Were you going to say the same thing?
You're the straight man. I'm the funny guy. What are we doing here? Quit taking my job.
The ceiling is the roof. Could they be? Could they be a thorn in Alabama's side? Is that kind of the question we're asking?
Like when Alabama comes to Oxford this year, could it be for the lead in the SEC West?
Ooh.
Could it be? Not will it be. Again, important distinction.
And that happens, by the way, on November 12th.
So you're into it at that point. There's a pretty good idea of where everybody stands on that day.
I'm going to softly say it could be, if for no other reason. Stop pursing your lips and listen. Use your listening ears, hey Dad, not your bulldog brain, okay?
Good. Strike me down with all your hatred.
It could be because, as a function of the schedule. Ole Miss's schedule is not terribly difficult. And so Ole Miss could still be within striking distance of the top of the West with 3 games left in the regular season when all 3 of those games are conference games at the end. In terms of SEC games, when Ole Miss hosts Alabama, they will have played Vanderbilt, Auburn, LSU, and Texas A&M. Could they be 1-3? I'm sorry, and Kentucky. Is there a scenario where in those 5 games they could be 1-4? Yeah.
Yes.
There is. There's also a scenario where they could be 4-1 or 5-0 in those 5 games. And so for that reason, yes, when Alabama rolls into Vaught Hemingway Stadium on November 12th with Ole Miss coming off an open date, it could be for first place in the West.
Next layer.
Hold on. Mr. Purse your lips, listen with your ears, bulldog brain. Am I completely out in left field for approaching it from that direction?
If we're going to play could, then no. If we're going to play will, then that's not going to happen.
What's Ole Miss's record going to be in those first 5 SEC games? Kentucky, at Vandy, Auburn, at LSU, at A&M.
They have a real chance for 4-1, I would say, but I think 3-2 is most likely.
Okay. With wins over Vanderbilt and Auburn, and then either Kentucky or LSU?
Oh, I think A&M over LSU.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's between Kentucky and A&M, yeah. Kentucky,
Okay.
I would probably give them the advantage because they're at home.
Fair enough. Second part, Borky?
Second part. Whose ceiling is higher here between Ole Miss and Mississippi State? See, I view this Ole Miss team as I think that they can be there. I think the ceiling is really, really high because on paper, the talent is absolutely there. On paper. Now it's talent coming in from outside. Team hasn't gelled. Got to figure out quarterback, whatever. But in terms of raw, pure, on-paper talent, the ceiling is incredibly high. And the floor, I think, is lower. They're not going 4-8 or whatever. But I think this team's a very high ceiling, low floor team. Is that ceiling higher than Mississippi State's ceiling?
It's not a rebuilding year for Ole Miss. It's a transition year, is how I would say it. Where I honestly think, to answer the question, the winner of the Egg Bowl is going to have the better record. And I think it may just be by that one game.